For one last time this summer as Cricbuzz Chatter, Adam Collins and Michael Vaughan. The test match was drawn between England and Pakistan. England win the series 1-0 with 2 draws, but Vaughanie today was all about James Anderson. They found time. He picked up his 600th test wicket, the first seamer to reach that milestone. What a remarkable achievement.
Yeah, when you think for the whole morning this ground was under absolute water. We didn't think we were going to get any play, and then the sun kind of came out, dried it out. The groundstar did a wonderful job, and then Jimmy Anderson produces that delivery, that one that bounces to Azhar Ali. The skipper takes a good catch. Remarkable. I mean, there's so many articles, blogs like this that many are going to do over the course of the next 24, 48 hours. But, you know, to think that there's a guy that's played 156 test matches. I mean, I have so much respect for batsmen that play anything over 100 test matches, but to think that a bowler has played for that amount over 17 years at the highest level playing for England, you know, it's not just the balls that you bowl in the game situation, it's the balls that he's had to bowl in practice, in the bowl throughs in the morning, tireless days, waking up with obviously loads of aches and pains on the body. The skill levels of Anderson over the years have just got better and better, just developing new skills for different conditions. A remarkable achievement, one that we in this country are going to celebrate. To think that he's the first ever seam bowler to get to 600. His long journey back to Manchester tonight, it'll be a nice one for him. It probably won't sink in for a few days, but whatever he's going to do this week, I hope he cracks open a few bottles and celebrate what is an incredible achievement.
Yeah, we all talk about longevity, 156 test matches. He's not finished yet, by the way. It's no eulogy. He's going to keep going. He picked up the 600th wicket just 6 deliveries later than Matai Murali did, which was the record holder at the time, which gives you a sense of just how efficient and effective he's been as well. A slow starter, of course, famously changed his action. He was your 12th man in the 2005 Ashes. I mean, his story goes back such a long, long way.
Yeah, and when you think of Muralitharan, you just always sense that Murali would have been so far ahead of every single other bowler that's played the game, but to think that Jimmy's only 6 balls behind is quite extraordinary. And as you rightfully say, you go back to 2003 when he started those booming out swingers to the right-handers, and then after about 2009-10 he started to develop a little bit of the wobble seam, and then he created different angles. I think when he set out he bowled a lot quicker. You know, he probably bowled around 88 miles an hour, and then he learnt how to become this 83 to 85 mile an hour skillful bowler in all the different conditions around the world. And you know, whatever English cricket does with him over the next few years, they have to get out. Like I said about MS Dhoni giving back to Indian cricket, Jimmy Anderson, the ECB have to do everything they possibly can to make sure that the next generation of young bowlers have got Jimmy Anderson's phone number, just to try and make sure that they're grabbing any bit of information that he can give them.
In closing on Jimmy, before we move on to other topics, I mean, the fact that he wants to keep playing, he's talked about the next Ashes series, he's bowling quicker this year than he has in years. I mean, there is an argument for the fact that it's going to be very hard to transition him out of the side when he's still so pivotal to it. Of course, 7 wickets this week and bowled magnificently.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the challenge for England. Can you see an England attack in Australia in a year and a half's time with an Anderson near on 40 and a Stuart Broad near on 36, beating Australia with the Kookaburra ball on those wickets? When you think the last 2 times that England have been there, they've lost 4-0, 5-0. So I understand that England need to find a difference in their attack. But the problem is, you know, they have given younger bowlers the opportunity this summer. They haven't really grabbed it as much as maybe they would have liked. Jofra Archer's played this week. I thought he bowled okay. Bowled nicely, bowled quicker than we saw in Manchester, but he didn't get any wickets. Sam Curran played last week. Did okay, but he didn't get the big bag of wickets. Chris Woakes is obviously that senior pro that will come through, but England desperately need a couple of the younger bowlers to really step up and in time to manoeuvre those senior pair out of the side. But as we speak, those 2 are still the best 2 bowlers that England have. They'll play, certainly I would think, next summer against India. I don't think they'll play too much in Sri Lanka and in the subcontinent against India during the winter. Maybe one of them will play in every test match, but England certainly need to find a way of getting 20 wickets in Australian conditions, and if it's with Anderson and Broad, I think they've got to look beyond that, but we'll wait and see what develops over the next year.
In terms of Pakistan, they finished on 187 for 4. England win their first series against Pakistan outright since 2010. We saw a classy half-century from Babar Azam this afternoon. Of course, the fast bowlers had their moments, but they felt like they were just a little bit underdone despite the fact they had so much preparation, and maybe if this series was in a year or 2 they would have been better equipped for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Pakistan are a side that over the next 2 or 3 years are going to compete against everyone. I think they've got pretty much everything covered. I love Rizwan. I think he's a fighter. Really good wicket-keeper batsman. Babar Azam, high class right at the top draw. I think Azhar Ali Century here will do him the world of good as a captain. And in that bowling attack of Naseem Shah and Shaheen Afridi in particular, they've got two young quicks that I'm sure over the next few years are going to cause a bit of chaos. So they might have lost the series. They should have won it when you think back to Manchester. But they're certainly a side that are on the up in Test match cricket.
Okay, Vaughan, for the last time in this series, let's go into the hot spot. In the hotspot, Vaughanie, you've been in the bubble for the better part of 7 weeks now. What I'd like is a reflection from you on cricket behind closed doors, because it might be something that we have to get used to over the next 12, maybe 18 months. And you've got as good an insight as almost anyone in the world at the moment, how this can work going forward.
Well, it's different because you obviously don't have the crowds. Waking up staring at a cricket field every day, it's not easy. It's quite claustrophobic because everyone's around you talking cricket 24/7. But, I think the players deserve a huge amount of credit to think that they've produced such a wonderful 6 test matches of skill, competitive nature, high-class individual performances, and also those players that aren't playing, those that are in the kind of squad and just netting every day, carrying drinks every single day with the Dayglow jackets on. I think the players deserve a lot of credit, but it's possible. We've seen 6 test matches where the cricket can be of a high standard. The pitch has been great. We'd love crowds in. We want the Barmy Army. We want to hear a few songs. And Jimmy Anderson's 600 wicket without any crowd is disappointing. But I think over the last 6 test matches, it's been proven that behind the bubble, test match cricket can survive. We hope crowds come back soon. But if they don't, we can still carry on with the game.
And as the rain falls down on my head at the moment and we press fast forward, it's back to one-day cricket. The Australians are in town, and even though it's a limited over series in September, which feels a bit unusual, there's always plenty on the line when England play Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Aussies have brought over their powerhouse of a team. So they're in the bubble in Derby. They arrive at the Ageas Bowl, I think, in 2 days' time for practice games, then the T20s and then the 50 overs. And, whenever England play Australia, like you obviously say, the Aussies will want a bit of a payback after that semi-final World Cup loss at Edgbaston last year. So I think we're in for an absolute beauty. All
right, Vaughanie, I look forward to joining you in the bubble for those games a little bit later in a couple of weeks' time. It's been an absolute privilege and a pleasure to be with you on Cricbuzz Chatter throughout the 6 test matches. For the last time, signing off, Adam Collins and Michael Vaughan. It's been fantastic.